social animals that can't live alone. But you can live pretty well by yourself.
Okay, guys.
Hey guys!
Welcome to
Hey, guys.
Whatevacast. This is, Happy New Year. Welcome to the first cast of the year PC9.
Yep, happy New Year.
Welcome to PC9.
Wish you all a happy clowning this year. Right, so today we have a special guest. He is a Florida expert, so everyone please welcome Kipz.
Hello.
Hi Kipz.
Huh?
Right, so first of all today, apparently President Trump has killed a top Iran general, and this might lead to a war with Iran. Do any of you guys give a shit?
I liked Iran better when they were more important, back when they were called Persia. That's the only time they actually mattered on the world stage.
Yeah, I only care if Trump kills that guy who has the power to reverse time, because I think that's going to be an issue.
Yeah, you can't go after the Prince of Persia.
So, more importantly than that, Australia is still on fire. This is breaking news. So I should add, if you haven't been following the situation, not only is Australia extremely on fire, not only are people jumping into the water and drowning to death to get away from the fire, not only are people dying from the heat of the fire, but at the same time in the, I think it was the east coast of South Korea, there was also a major forest fire just shot up, and 5 seconds later the president declared a state of emergency and immediately sent aid to those affected areas. So I just gotta say, Australia, if you are less efficient at handling disasters than South fucking Korea, than Moon fucking Jae-in, then you guys probably need to get your shit together. So it probably doesn't come as a surprise that right now,
you're going to need way more than Vegemite to get your shit together. To glue yourself back together, Australia. You're going to need way more than just Vegemite.
Doesn't glue melt?
It does.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
well, maybe if they're fighting fires, so adding glue to the fire would probably make it worse.
Well, they can sniff glue. Maybe it'll give them superpowers. Or they huff gasoline, right?
Yeah, they do.
Oh god, it's gonna be Florida Man 2.0.
I think we said this last week, but Australia is basically Florida the country, right?
Pretty much.
Yeah, they're
As a
perpetually
resident
drunk.
Florida expert, I can duly test that is correct.
All right, thanks, Mud. Thanks for your expertise. So,
Absolutely.
meanwhile, the Prime Minister of Australia, I think his name is Morrissey, right?
It's
Morrissey,
some Anglo-sounding name.
Yeah, so Morrissey is going around trying to shake hands, trying to prep up his image, which is a major fuck up. So he went up to a bunch of firefighters and he's like, "Thank you guys for doing such a great job. Can I shake your hand?" And he puts his hand out to shake, and the guys are just like, "I'm not touching that shit. I'm not touching your fapping hand."
Jesus, did they actually say that?
They were like, "How fucking dare you? You underfunded our fire department. You haven't sent us out to fight against the fires. How dare you try to shake our hands? How fucking stupid do you think we are?" And
around here, we expected actually more firefighters to be deployed to Australia, but they actually weren't. They're still sitting around here doing fuck all.
Well, here's what's happening in Australia. Basically, so a lot of the areas being affected around Sydney and stuff. And if you voted for him, he's sending aid. If you didn't vote for him, he's not sending aid.
But why can't everyone have AIDS?
Yeah.
Wrong continent, bro. And
that would be the logical thing to do, right? But Australia doesn't follow logic.
So what? How do you What was that? What was that song in the Book of Mormon?
Hasadiga Ibawai?
Yeah, Hasadiga Ibawai. So how do you translate that into Bogan?
I don't know.
I guess something like "Good day, mate." There was this woman. So there was a pregnant woman, and Morrissey goes to shake her hand. He puts out his hand, and she just she stares at him with this look of death, could you be more of a piece of shit? And he reaches for her hand that's at her side, and he grabs it away from her and starts shaking it. And while he's shaking it, she's just like, "You're a fucking monster. Our community is underfunded." And like while she starts to rant in his face, one of his PR guys just walks up and starts going like, "Shush, shush, 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 shush." Like massive PR move. Huge dump on his charisma stat. So, congratulations, Australia. You guys are really in the shitter right now.
So when is the sex scandals gonna come out for that? Because that's definitely gonna happen.
Oh, he's gonna be in pedogate. Like, he's probably like trafficked Chinese children or something, Vietnamese children, Abo children. Maybe he has one of every color in his basement, and he's just going crazy there.
He's shaking all of their hands.
He's got a children rainbow down there.
I don't know. Maybe I'm giving him too little credit. He probably has a pass on the pedo plane that goes to Little Saint Baby Larry or whatever that island is called.
Oh shit, Baby Larry.
Yeah, dude. You know about the island, right? Little Saint Baby Larry.
No, I don't. Please
the
Baby Larry that I knew as a kid.
Oh, I thought I told you about this before. So Jeffrey Epstein has like these private islands, and one of them is named like Big John and Little Baby Larry or something like that. Like I forget what he names his islands, but yeah, they're his special play islands where he just keeps children locked up.
Oh yeah. So that's basically Australia right now. Maybe that's what he's trying to do. Maybe he's trying to start fires so he kills all the adults. So there's a whole bunch of orphans he can round up and sell into his corral of children's.
Britt, we make jokes on here. Just to clarify, this is supposed to be.
I was just trying to make a logical conclusion here, man.
Yeah, I know. We're supposed to be a satirical cast. You can't be hitting us with reality and shit. You have to say something that's actually probably not the truth.
Well, shit.
So that being said, some small news from California. We have to get in our weekly Fuck California. So our weekly Fuck California.
Yes.
Yeah. So our weekly Fuck California is there was a fight in a mall in California between some teens. So I'm going to ask you to guess how many teenagers were in this fight.
One.
Well,
One. Okay.
One.
Mud, elaborate.
I'd say maybe. Well, teens don't fight in California, do they?
Are you kidding me?
Unless they're Oh yeah. I actually do know that they do fight, but it's usually one-on-one. But you said a bunch of teens, right?
Yeah.
One-on-one, that's at least 2. But if it's a bunch, then that's at least maybe 5, 10. I'm gonna go with 20.
20. That's a pretty big number. So Mud says one teen got in a fight.
He got to fight with himself.
It's an internal struggle.
So yeah, some mall in California, there was a teenager who was just like sitting there like arguing with himself.
He was fighting his headmates.
This is very allegorical for the current state of California. The number was 200. There were 200 teens in a fight, which I imagine.
Wow.
That was so close.
200 troops. Wow.
Yeah, man. I bet they had to overclock California's processor for that. Maybe there was a loading error, or maybe it was just like there were 200 teens, but only like 20 of them were on screen at one time. So it was kind of like a Yakuza battle.
Were there a lot of shirtless crying on rooftops?
Probably.
Like Yakuza?
Yeah, man. They were probably like singing karaoke as they fought. So this
drunken karaoke as they fought, yes. The proper Californian way.
Yeah, so I want to ask let's say you operate a mall and you have 200 people fighting in the mall. What would you do? How would you handle the situation?
Well, you remember back when flash mobs were a thing? Is that kind of like what this was? But it was just, fighting, street fights.
It was a flash mob,
Mall
but
fights?
it was yeah.
Flash mob fight. Yes.
Flash mob fight.
I guess I guess I would just put it on YouTube then, and just hope that YouTube doesn't take it down for copyright infringement or something.
Good idea.
Harassment or bullying. Try to make a bit of money back from the damages caused by them.
That's a great idea.
That's what I would do.
Like, yo, check out my mall. We have the fucking hottest fights in the city. Well, that's how you assure.
Maybe make it a tourist attraction.
Is that a tourist attraction? That's how you get like no white people to ever come to your mall ever again.
I mean, do we really need white people in our malls?
Absolutely not. That's a very good point, Mud.
Yeah, there's better places it could be than a friggin' mall.
Like Cracker Barrel or their jobs. Whole Foods, concentration camps,
Trader Joe's.
We already said concentration camps, bro. P.
Oh yeah.
So okay, this gives me a theory. Do you guys remember the romaine lettuce happening?
Yeah.
Remember Romaine Gate?
Wasn't that like with you? That's a vegetable, and there's always E. coli going around. Does that have to do with it or no?
Yeah. So I actually don't know. It was like romaine lettuce. A huge batch of romaine lettuce got like a massive E. coli infection, or it might have even been worse than that.
I remember that happened with spinach. Yeah.
Yeah, like
it's
some
like
people had
get E. coli.
Some people had like their arms and legs amputated and shit. So now I'm starting to wonder, maybe that was like a eugenics process. They just locked a bunch of white people in a Trader Joe's and started feeding them polluted lettuce to try to thin out the population.
Well, are you sure that it was polluted by the distributors or by just California itself?
That's a great question, and honestly, I can't answer it. I think your guess is as good as mine here. When it comes to California,
it might be a little bit of column A, a little bit of column B.
Right,
that's just the way I see it.
Right, that's also quite possible. So yeah.
So the distributors shat on it, and in addition, the store goers shat on it. So the purchasers also shat on it before they ate it, and they all got E. coli from it.
Yeah. I mean that's one way to weed out all the white people. Just keep shitting in their food, because if there's one thing I know about white people, they really will eat shit.
I mean, look at Impossible Burgers.
Now that's some shit. That's some real shit.
That's some serious shit, yeah.
Well, I wasn't really planning on talking about this, but I think we can go ahead and talk about this. No, we'll talk about it later. Never mind. We'll get to it later. We'll have a chance to discuss it.
Okay, so if you are white in California, you have to avoid malls and avoid eating in order to survive, right?
But they survive off the radiated fish, right?
Oh yeah, they survive off the radiated fish and wine. So I guess they have a way of living still,
right?
Just as ghouls.
Yeah, so long as they don't eat any fresh vegetables or soy or anything like that, they're gonna be okay. This really this sounds like a recipe for an apocalyptic future, right? So if you eat vegetables and shit, then you're
you mean we're already in an apocalyptic future. So is this like an apocalyptic future on an apocalyptic future? It's just like
this is stage 2. So the first stage was I don't know, when was the first stage? I guess it was when they just like started they started moving people out of California. I don't know, man. It's hard to say where stage 1 exactly started. But oh no, I know where stage 1 started. So stage 1 started when they started importing radiated food and wine into California. I think that was stage 1 of the clown apocalypse. Now we're in stage 2, and stage 2 consists of using Impossible Burgers and romaine lettuce to thin out the population until all that remains are these fucking 4-armed creatures that live off of radiated food and constantly post memes to Instagram.
Do you think Impossible Burgers is causing the transgender issue because of the amounts of estrogen in them?
I don't think it's causing the transgender issue. I think it's facilitating it for sure. I think some people are starting to feel more like women.
That's a Canadian export, yes. Yeah, that's a Canadian thing.
So basically, what's going to happen is instead of hormone replacement therapy using estrogen pills, they're just going to force people to be vegetarians.
Well,
They're
this is
just gonna
something
force
we
him to eat from Burger King. It's like Super Size Me, but with Burger King instead, and with Impossible Burger.
well they're not going to force. There's no forcing. That's the thing. This is a sleeper process. So we were explaining this last week, Kipz. Canada is exporting these estrogen-laden soy burgers, and then the advertising companies are picking up on it. They're like, yeah, eat this fucking soy, eat that, you bitch. All the customers, they consume these soy burgers. Yeah, they slowly lose the ability to reproduce. They become sterile after their dicks
They
fall
also
off.
become complacent. They become okay with the clown world that they live in. That's stage 3. They actually become complacent.
So now I have
They comply to every demand put upon them by the clown world.
So now I have to wonder: is the clown movement, is this being advanced by Canada? Is it okay? Now I got it. All right, I think we're getting a little bit closer to the truth. So we said a few weeks ago that the clown world began with the jugularity, right? So we're all inside Joe
Yes.
Biden's mind. So
Yeah.
if we're all inside Joe Biden's mind right now, then maybe Joe Biden is not actually collaborating with Ukraine. Maybe he's collaborating with Canada.
Oh shit.
I'm scared now.
You should be, Kipz.
I don't even know what to do with my life anymore.
You should vote Joe Biden. That's what you should do.
How do we do that? Do we have to impeach Trump first?
Well, no, that impeachment's not going to happen. Just wait a few months. You'll probably have someone knocking on your door carrying a ballot, and it's going to have one checkbox on it for Biden, and you check that box, and then you're good.
Interesting.
And then the clowns come in.
The clowns are already here, Rip. They've already arrived.
Oh my god!
I already live with them clowns.
Since we are now in the year PC9, I think it's a great time to talk about PC moments.
The gamer moments.
Right. So the hottest gamer moments of the 2010s. We'll start off with a couple of recent stories. So unfortunately, our friend Moans is not here at the moment, but he did give us some local news that was happening in Texas. Texas sucks, by the way. Fuck Texas. There's one thing that's kind of cool about Texas, and that's that they have the Alamo Draft House. I would actually like to go to the Alamo Draft House, but I think not all of their programming is well catered. So they usually have like craft beers and cocktails and stuff, and if you talk during the movie, then they send in the SS who arrest you and send you directly to a concentration camp where you're forced to watch like epic movie and stuff like that on repeat with your eyes pulled open like in Clockwork Orange. But that being said, they have some pre-show activities that are not suitable for all of their audiences. So one thing that I feel like they make this pretty clear at Alamo Draft House, but still some people don't get: don't bring your fucking kids to Alamo Draft House.
Yeah, don't bring your kids to booze. That's just no.
Well, not only is there alcohol, but there's some very specific rules about Alamo Draft House where they will rip your fucking ass open if you like make any noise or kick the seat in front of you or anything like that. Like this is not a regular movie theater. This is a kind of movie theater where you follow some pretty strict rules or you get the fuck out. And regardless, people are bringing their goddamn crotch spawn into there anyway.
Well, they're getting drunk. They don't care. As soon as they get their booze, they're done.
But the draft house cares. Like they will send in the SS to kick out you and your children. So if you want to make your money's worth, then don't fucking bring your children. They will toss your ass out.
Why are they getting the Gestapo?
Because this is a perfect movie watching experience. You know, and what's a perfect movie watching experience without a drag show before your Star Wars, right?
Oh my god, Star Wars!
Star Wars! All the wars with all the stars. A lot of parents were not very happy because they went to watch Star Wars Episode 69 before all the shooting. Right. Before all the wholesome shooting and dying and politics and sex and all that goes on in Star Wars, apparently there was a drag show.
I mean, Star Wars wasn't woke enough. They added it. They needed an extra level of woke on top of it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's what they figured, if you're going there to see, a very diverse cast of heroes using the Force against a diverse cast of aliens, then clearly you're also the kind of person who wants to see a drag show before your fantasy epic.
And before you get your Impossible Burger, yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure they were probably surfing Impossible Burgers at the Alamo Draft House, next to some fair trade draft beer, craft draft. Now look, let me be clear here. I've seen a few drag shows. It's all right. It's fairly entertaining, but watching a drag show before my sci-fi movie, it's kind of like watching a butt rock concert before an episode of Breaking Bad. Like they both have their entertainment value, but I don't know if I really need to have these two together.
Yeah, it's kind of like you can see the audiences are the same, but you just don't want to mix either of them. You don't want to cross the streams.
The Draft House's thinking is just like drag shows in Star Wars are like whiskey and cigars.
Guess.
Or what is it that poor people do? I guess it's like Tool concerts and Mad Dog 2020.
Oh God.
But for me personally, I don't know. I don't know if I would want a drag show before my Star Wars. I think maybe a drag show before watching like what do you think? What does a drag show go with? What kind of movie would you want to watch after seeing a drag show?
Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I was just about to say Rocky Horror. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, that makes perfect sense to me. Yeah, if you have a drag show right before Rocky Horror, I think that's going to be a great time.
Yeah, you gotta wait. Yeah, it's kind of like it's kind of like a meal, and well, the pre-show is like the appetizer, and well, it doesn't really fit with what you're serving.
I mean, transgender people are already aliens anyway. Spoiler alert.
I already came to the conclusion that they're skinwalkers, but yeah.
Well, okay, so then let's brainstorm a little bit. What do you think the pre-show for Star Wars should be?
Something that's kind of short, maybe something that could go along with the Star Wars. Like I would say like maybe some of the animated stuff or something like that, like some fan-made stuff even, to actually show the appreciation of the fans, but well, didn't Disney say that none of that was canon, so I guess they can't use that. So I don't know.
I don't think they can restrict what the Draft House does before a show. I think if they have like one of those. Okay, I got an idea. So here's an idea. Do you guys remember that the fan-made RoboCop?
That was my favorite.
Yeah. Oh boy, I remember that. Yes.
Yeah. So what if
Memories.
So what if they do like a fan-made cut of one of the Star Wars, maybe episode 5 or 6, whatever. They do like a fan-made cut of that.
There's like a million of those on YouTube already. They just needed to get permission.
Yeah. They do a fan-made special, and they serve space brownies during the premiere of this, and then everyone goes into space while watching space.
Yo, dog, I heard you like space.
I think for added realism, we should add in like a mass shooter, but he shoots like a clone trooper, so he misses everything.
That's a very good idea, actually. I'm behind that one. And like they're given specific instructions about which shooter to look out for. So like when you enter the Draft House, it's like, if you see this shooter wearing a stormtrooper hat, don't worry. If you see this shooter wearing an Elsa hat, please be concerned.
If you see them wearing Joker makeup, then you don't have to worry at all. Hong Kong.
Okay, now I got an idea for a pre-show. All right, here's my idea for a pre-show. So first of all, a guy walks in with a full like stormtrooper outfit, and he has a laser gun, and the crowd gasps, and some people start hiding under their seats and all. And the stormtrooper, he just starts shooting off his like pew pew laser rifle, right? And he has perfect aim, so he just like misses every seat in the entire house. And then he just like puts his hands up and he starts doing like he starts flossing or something, and then he walks out and like something comes over the loudspeakers like, "We hope you enjoy this performance," and everyone starts clapping. So that's the first act, right?
Everyone's gotta start clapping because this is America.
Yeah. And then like a couple minutes later, a guy comes in dressed as the Joker, and everyone starts gasping and they start like diving, hiding under their seats while what would be the Joker society music? You'd have some kind of society music playing like Caramel Dancing or something, or maybe some kind of happy hardcore, nightcore, something from like the weeb side of YouTube. So that starts playing. People are like, "Oh shit, he's gonna start shooting because he has a gun and everything," and then he starts doing the Joker dance. So then as soon as that one's finished, everyone's like, "Oh good, he didn't come in to shoot us," and then they all start clapping. And then the third act, someone actually does come in and start shooting people, and a few lives are lost, maybe around 8 or 9 before the shooter finishes himself off as the cops arrive, and then everyone
As
applauds.
usual. Because that's what they came for, right?
Yeah,
Not
of
for
course.
Star Wars.
That sounds about right.
Look, it's the year
Sounds
PC9.
just like a normal day of Texas. Yes.
It is the year PC9, and if you didn't know by now, theaters are places you go to appreciate a proper mass shooting. And if you're not in it for the mass shooting, like, you might as well just stay at home and watch your shit on Netflix.
Yeah, it'll be there eventually. Just wait a while. You can wait, right?
Yeah.
Oh wait, it's Disney, so you gotta get Disney Plus instead. Yeah,
Right, Disney Plus.
Disney Plus.
I made a lot of money on Disney stock when Disney Plus went off. I'm just gonna let you guys know now.
Damn, son.
Shit went up like $20 a share. Should have gotten in.
I got butt
Nice.
plugs shares, so I'm good.
Nice. Then, so the next up on the PC docket was the, oh boy, it's another California story.
Oh boy, I just say fuck California again because you can't say it enough. Fuck California.
Oh, this was not a new story. Unfortunately, our boy Vicky is a dumbass, so he gave us an old story. But since we've been talking about firefighters and shit like that, we're gonna cover this news story a little bit. In 2009, there were a bunch of firefighters that showed up in
How ancient was he even going? That's before the jugularity.
Right, that was. Holy crap. No, that's the thing. Okay, so because it was before the jugularity, you're gonna find that this news story actually makes sense. So let me explain what happened here. And wow, god damn, this was 2007. So some San Diego firefighters were we don't
What? No, don't say that. No.
say that, man. We don't do gamer words here. So some San Diego firefighters were in the 2007 Gay Pride Parade. Wouldn't you know it, they got sexually harassed, and they were forced to participate in this parade. They weren't just like, can we get a few good men who would like to show up for this Pride Parade where you may or may not be oogled and touched by some horny parade goers. So they went there and they got sexually harassed. By the way, one of the firefighters, his name was Chad. So Chad and his group of Chads, they took it to the 4th District Court of Appeal, and
It's pretty high up there, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty high. I mean, I think everything in San Diego is pretty high. Yeah, so the Court of Appeal heard it out, and they ruled for $34,000 in damages plus $500,000 in legal fees, which is great. Of course, you get a few pennies for your damages, and the lawyers get big fucking bucks. They changed the policy in order to say that firefighters, they can volunteer, but they don't have to go to this fucking parade where people get molested.
Yeah, because that's a workplace hazard that they're doing, right?
It is a workplace hazard. Yeah, I mean, if you're a firefighter in a pride parade, God, people they're gonna treat you like a stripper. They might even treat you like a prostitute. Yeah, anyway, this was before the clowning, so it went over. I think it was a pretty fair verdict. The firefighters department, they changed their policy. The firefighters, they got some money and they got a verdict in their favor, so on and so forth. I don't know if people are keeping this in mind, or if this shit is like has come back to bite them in the ass.
Considering it's a gay pride parade, everything bites them in the ass, right?
Yes, but consensually, of course.
Oh yeah.
What else do we have? We have the top PC moments of the last decade. So before and after the jugularity happened.
Wow. Let's go through this list, shall we?
Absolutely. So let's start with number 1. A college diversity training course taught that it was culturally insensitive to expect people to be on time. A Clemson University training course taught its attendees that it is offensive to expect people to be on time because time may be considered fluid in other cultures.
It depends on which culture, because it's kind of hard for me to explain, but my track actually has a
I know.
way of explaining time.
Oh no.
Yeah,
I get the general idea.
Time.
I get the general idea. There's this thing called what is it? Being monochronic and polychronic, which means you have a different sense of how time passes and how things have to get done within a space of time. I'm not going to go on a rant and explain something intellectual. You can just Google the two terms if you want to know. But I remember when I was in my first year of university, I took a course about the study of like the history of dance in American culture. And it was a pretty mixed group. And by mixed group, I mean I was the only one who had a penis.
Yeah, the name of that class sounded woke as hell, man.
The name of the class was like
that.
The name of the class was like social dancing in the U.S. in the 20th century or something like that. It was a fun class. Actually, I enjoyed it a lot. It was great. I mean,
was there jazz hands?
The teacher was a jazz dance teacher. She has a jazz dance class, but that class in particular was kind of a mix of like, there's a little bit of history of jazz dance, of like Louisiana dancing, because this is New Orleans, mine. Yeah, I think we talked a little about hip hop dance, about like whatever the 20th century equivalent of like square dancing and foxtrotting is, like all that kind of stuff. I kind of forget. I mean, I forget a lot of what they taught, but I do remember.
Yeah, it's hard to remember stuff that happened before the jugularity.
Right. I think we lost a lot of our memory of before that time. The one thing I do remember though, we had to, not had to, but we were asked to go to like a Rockin' Bowl so that we could see a performance of Louisiana Zydeco music at a bowling alley, it sounds pretty cool to me. And like our professor picked us up and we're in our car and we're waiting for, a few more people to join us. And so it's me, there's a couple of white girls and there's one black girl sitting in a car. And it's like, we're supposed to leave at like 7 o'clock and now it's 7:10 or something. And so the black chick, she calls her friend and she's like, "Girl, where are you? Like you were supposed to be here at 7 o'clock CPT." And like the white girls, they start whispering each other, "What is CPT?" And the black girl like turns away from her phone for a second. It's colored people time.
Oh god.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So it was this was a diversity lesson. But yeah, so I can tell you, like, from the mouth of the people themselves, many minority groups in America, particularly Latin Americans and African Americans, they believe in CPT. And according to CPT, you're not necessarily late. Like, you could be fashionably late. If your class starts
you're ready when you're ready.
There's like you're late because your car broke down, or you're late because the cops pulled you over, stuff like that.
That can be part of it. I think it's just kind of like a general sense of things. So, if your class starts at 8:30, then you have to pregame at 8 o'clock, and you might show up around 9 o'clock, Because if the class is going to end at 10 o'clock, then the party gets started when you show up, right?
Yeah, you bring the party.
Exactly. So yeah, it's a real thing. So maybe yeah, I mean maybe being on time is culturally sensitive. Maybe keeping your fucking job is culturally sensitive. Maybe getting paid and putting food on the table is culturally sensitive. So we shouldn't be culturally insensitive. We shouldn't punish people for not going to class on time and not going to work on time and not getting paid and starving to death. Like these people just do shit based on their time, and that's fine. They can live and die by their own time. So that was number one.
Okay, we got 10 to go through. That was
Yeah.
number 1. What's number 2?
The phrase trigger warning was deemed a trigger.
Oh man, your triggers are triggering me.
I'm triggered by your
You've
triggers.
activated my trigger card. You've activated my trigger card.
I'm gonna tell you guys. I'm gonna let you in on a deeply held secret of mine. I'm gonna get vulnerable for a moment. I do have a trigger, and my trigger is people getting triggered by triggers.
How very PC9 of you, man.
Yeah, dude. I think now we should all like come out about our vulnerabilities.
I can't really think of any triggers besides people talking shit about the Klonoa series. That's about it. Because it's a great series. It's my favorite. That's it. That's all I have.
Which trigger is Klonoa?
What's your trigger, Kev? What triggers Klonoa is carrots and lettuce and tomatoes on his hamburgers.
Kipz, you alive there?
Oh yeah, I'm alive.
What are your triggers?
I hate losing money. That's always a trigger. If I drop a penny, I freak out. It's a bad time.
Right.
Oh,
so
bad.
so
Wow.
Kipz gets triggered by poverty.
It's awful, man.
Yeah.
Whenever a poor person comes up to me, I'm like having a heart attack. It's not good.
Tell
When
me
I
about
was
it, man.
little, I remember getting in a fight over someone because a quarter rolled out of like my pocket because my pocket had a hole in it, and I dropped the quarter out of my, like it dropped out of the hole in my pocket, and he saw the quarter roll out of my pant leg, and then just right then and there he saw me trying to grab the quarter, and then he like hit me in the back of the head, and so a fight started right there.
You would think that he would think that you were like pissing money. He would want your pissing money abilities instead of like a quarter falling out of your pants and thinking, well, that just came out of his pants.
Yeah, but I remember having to fight over that. It's like, and I beat his ass, and like for that whole year of school, I kept all my money not in my pockets because they had holes in them, but I kept all of my like dollar bills and coins in like underneath the soles of my shoes, so they were safe as long as nobody stole my shoes.
You should just tape the money on you. You can never lose it.
But what if you sweat too much? Then the table will fall off.
Yeah, if you're Australia, you gotta forget about it. You're right. I forgot about that.
Okay, let's keep going. What's number 3?
So number 3, a professor was accused of sexual harassment for saying effort is 10% of the grade.
I don't see what the problem of that is. I mean, it's like a professor, so that means college. You have to actually try, and apparently trying is considered sexual harassment? What?
Man, your guess is as good as mine here. I definitely don't see the sexual harassment that's in there.
Well, it says it happened in New York, so in Brooklyn. So that does make sense now because New York. Fuck New York.
Fuck New York.
Yeah, New York, fuck.
I'm guessing in New York, pretty much anything that pisses off a woman is considered sexual harassment.
You mean actually having to try is considered sexual harassment over there? Wow.
That's what it sounds like. Jesus.
You might be judged according to your skill. Well, that's discrimination. Then what's the whole point of grading then? Is everyone supposed to just get like an A and a gold star?
It depends if you're an oppressed minority or not. If you're an oppressed minority, yes, you should get an A and a gold star.
It also depends on CPT.
Now that we're done talking about that, what's number 4 now?
Number 4. A campus survey included a trigger warning to caution students that it may contain anatomical names of body parts. So, if you're triggered by arms, then please be careful.
Toenails.
Oh.
Hands.
Ugh.
Earwax.
Ugh.
Butthole.
Well, buttholes are okay.
Damn. 2 buttholes.
I don't know, man. Wait, how many
Gee,
buttholes do you
kids,
have?
why does Gargly have 2 buttholes?
It's visually triggering if you see 2 buttholes on one person.
Well, but you're from Florida, so that, I mean, I'm sure you're used to seeing buttholes everywhere.
It's a common.
Yeah.
The whole state is basically a butthole.
It is.
No, the whole state is 2 buttholes. Think again.
They call it America's wang, but it's kind of like America's butthole, yeah.
Well,
America's
it must
2
be.
buttholes.
Maybe it's
America's
America's
2 buttholes.
taint.
America's grundle. Where did the phrase grundle come from?
I forgot, actually. Like that name came before the jugularity, so yeah.
Yeah. They should call it your Australia, because it's the land down under, right?
Yeah, it's where the women go and men plunder.
Perfect.
Catch you hear the thunder. You better run, you better take cover.
From the land down under.
Right, so that was, what was that? Was that number 4, number 5?
Number 4.
That was number 4.
Number 5.
Okay, number
Number
5.
7.
We're not skipping to number 7. Stop getting so fucking stoned. Number 5. University researchers demanded that we accept people who identify as real vampires.
Never trust skinwalkers. No.
Right? Yeah, this seems like a setup to get us to accept those
Canadians.
Canadians? You think Canadians are
Their
vampires?
Yeah.
masquerade can go only for so long.
This is the work of Canadians, I can
They
tell.
need to stop the masquerade. Yes.
If I were to guess which group of people were vampires, I think I would say British people. Number 1, because they suck. And number 2, because they can't handle the sun.
Not only that, but aren't they all wizards and stuff?
Are they? Oh, British people?
Yeah, British people have they're all wizards and stuff. So yeah, maybe that translates into being a vampire.
Oh, right, yeah. You're a wizard, Harry.
No, it's your hairy wizard, Potter.
Being a heromancer must be really bad. You know, like all you can do is manipulate other people's hair and make them grow hair or lose hair.
Can you imagine resurrecting dead hair?
To be honest, guys, I mean, my hairline is thinning out a little bit, so I wouldn't mind a hairmancer. Sounds like a Witcher
My
quest.
hair is just fine. My hair is just fine.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
I
have
know.
your like long, luscious locks. Me, no, I could go for some more luscious hair.
Yeah, I don't trust vampires. I'm strictly anti-vamps. I'm anti-vamps.
Whoa, that is fucking culturally insensitive.
Hey man, it's a weird thing about me is that like I can smell when people are like weird, you know, like skinwalkers and stuff. They smell off.
They smell like someone else's skin, I imagine.
And they also have this slight smell of fear that they might be caught. And I can actually sense that in them. And yes, I can smell when they're having their masquerade.
That's some scary stuff.
What, being found out that you're a vampire, Kipz? I mean, you're Floridian, that's like half vampire right there.
Yeah, they're daybreakers.
Skinwalkers, daybreakers, what else?
Man, Brip, you are so fucking insensitive. It's unbelievable. We might have to kick you out of here.
What? Oh no!
You're so insensitive towards vampires, skinwalkers. I bet you probably hate clowns, too.
No, I'm actually an ally with clowns.
Oh, alright, that's cool.
Like I told you, our tribe has that clown culture.
Our country has a clown culture.
Well, we did it first, like 500 years ago. The ancient clowns.
Wait, does that mean clowns are cultural appropriation?
Yes.
Oh shit.
I'm an oppressed minority, and so I'm getting back at everybody by getting at the skinwalkers and the vampires.
Oh shit. You hear that, Kipz? We can't talk shit about clowns.
I don't care. As long as I'm able to talk shit about vampires, I'm okay.
Yeah.
Fucking vampires. Someone needs to ethnically cleanse all the vampires out of our society.
We're going to need a lot more holy water before we're through.
They're almost as bad as gamers.
And they suck about as much too.
They
Oh,
probably
shit.
eat, but
It's like those mall goths, but mall vampires. Because we were talking about malls earlier. And yeah, maybe that's one way to keep people out of malls is just to sock them with vampires.
Huh. Alright, so number 6. A Seattle area councilman was concerned that the city hosing poop off of its sidewalks because he thought that it might seem too racially insensitive. The area in question reportedly stank like urine and excrement, but one councilman was worried that hosing it down could be a microaggression.
So he was being accused of removing the brown from his pure white streets.
That's what it sounds like.
I see.
wow.
Wow. I think, yeah, I already got why it's a microaggression. Because he's using pure white water to get rid of all the brown and the yellow off of his streets.
That's scary.
Well, that's Seattle.
Oh.
Yeah, Seattle sucks. I think we went over that a
Yeah,
little
we
bit.
talked about that last week. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Seattle sucks. Washington sucks.
Yeah, that was our last week.
Okay, so what's the next thing up? Because I think we're pushing it a little too far with our discussion with that one. What's
Number 7, a bathing suit advertisement was criticized for being sexist because it depicted a woman in a bathing suit.
But they're meant for women, unless they want men to also wear women's bathing suits.
They might.
Well, after a couple Impossible Burgers, maybe they might need to.
Right, there's that too. Number 8, some feminists decide that pussy hats were both racist and transphobic. Why? Because not all women have vaginas, and not all vaginas are pink. What are pussy hats?
Those aren't those like those pink things people like used to wear at protests and stuff. Like they wear a meme for like half a year or some shit.
Oh, yeah, so during anti-Trump protests, feminists would wear pussy hats to like show solidarity between pussy havers. But this is
To
considered
fight the MAGA
insensitive.
hatters.
Yeah, something like
So-
that.
So instead of wearing a red hat, they were wearing, like kind of like wearing the blood on your everything. Is just like they were wearing the pussy on their head. Huh.
I posted a picture of the pussy hat, the chat for reference.
Yeah, I just found it.
Yeah, look at that soy boy.
Oh, there's a guy wearing one of those hats.
Yes, unironically, Kipz posted a picture of it, and yes, unironically wearing that.
Well, maybe he has a vagina. I don't want to get too
Maybe he has a
judgmental.
Switch.
Yeah, maybe he borrows his wife's boyfriend's Switch sometimes. Okay, and number 9, a professor claimed that small chairs in preschools are sexist, disempowering, and problematic. This is in preschools.
Okay, but they need chairs that fit them. Otherwise, they're gonna feel awkward and not want to go to school anymore.
Yeah, I mean, no, I think we should have full-size chairs for 3-year-olds. If you're 3 years old, your chair should be at least 2 feet off the ground.
Well, there was that time in like the 1800s where like they actually did make like adult clothes, like suits and tuxes and everything for kids, so that they had to wear that at all times, to be as formal as possible in their dress wear, just like the men and women, but just tailored to be small for them and wearing that all the time. Yeah.
I see. Now.
And this is not a list of 10. This is a list of 23.
Wow.
I think we're gonna have to. I think we're gonna have to stop at. I think we're gonna have to stop at 10.
Yeah, 10 because
Yeah,
these
we'll
are
be
like
here
the
all
10
night.
amendments.
Right.
These are like the 10 amendments from the Constitution. Yes.
You mean the Bill of Rights? That was 15 amendments. We talked about them last week.
Oh yeah. But I thought it was 10. We stopped at 10, right? Or
I think
oh
10
yeah,
is
15.
problematic.
Yeah.
No, we talked about all 15 bills of rights. Right. So yeah, number 10, college students decided against bringing a camel to school for a hump day event due to concerns about racism.
Hump day? What is a hump day?
Wednesday.
Oh.
Yeah, hump day is
I'm not.
yeah, hump day is just another way to say Wednesday. It's just
Why can't you just say midweek like a normal person? Hump day just sounds like, because it's college and humps. It sounds like a day where, like they just hump each other and stuff. It's just that's what I thought of because of college.
We use it in like high schools and stuff too, if I remember correctly. Like, because once you're past Wednesday, you're over the hump, right? That means like the worst is over, and after a couple more days, then your weekend will come. Something like that. I don't know. I'm not the one who invented the concept of hump day, so I'm not gonna be an apologist for it.
Just hump.
That's good advice.
Hump for Trump.
Hump for Trump.
Hump for Trump.
Yep. Hump for Trump. That's all you need. Hump for him.
Cool.
Instead of sit back and think of the Queen, it's hump for Trump.
Sit back and think of the Queen. Is that a British saying? I never heard that one.
Hump
I
for
think so,
Trump.
yes.
Hump for Trump.
All right, I guess we're done with that.
Yeah, thank God. I don't want to think
That
about
list
any
sucks.
PC moments in PC9. Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's just
That's so
some
last
generic.
decade.
Right. I think it's just some generic, like, angry conservative website. I find it more amusing when not liberals, but like lefties get mad at liberals. I think they say much more interesting shit. Right. So now we've gone through all the PC moments. I would like to take a moment, and by a moment I mean like 3 hours, to talk about Florida, which is exactly why we got Muddy on here.
Florida.
Are you excited, Muddy?
You're bringing in the Pandora's box, man. You better be careful.
Well, to be fair, every other cast has probably talked about Florida at some point. So, yeah, Brip, I'll let you open. Would you like to talk about this wonderful family?
Oh yeah. What was it? A couple weeks ago, vegan parents were accused of starving their child to death on a diet of fruit and vegetables. Yeah, Ryan Patrick O'Leary and Sheila O'Leary from Florida have been charged with first-degree murder because they didn't want to give their kid, their baby milk, just raw fruit and vegetables before they even knew what they actually were.
It was a baby.
See what the
Yeah.
mistake was? They didn't feed him any Impossible burgers.
Right. Well, I mean, what you're supposed to give your
Right.
children, you're supposed to give them Brondo, right?
Yeah, because they're little sprouts. You
Yeah.
know, they're
It's got electrolytes, right?
got what sprouts crave, man.
Right. So if you don't give your kids electrolytes, then you need to take them back to the store. You're not ready for them. Just return them.
Yeah,
and-
you got to get a refund.
Yeah, I mean, you have to make sure you have everything you need before you buy your first baby.
Yeah, and if all you have is fruits and vegetables, why are you even having a baby in the first place?
Right.
Well, very easily, Florida has this thing called you get money for children. I don't know if they're like that anywhere else, but yeah, any child you have, you get some money off of.
Yeah, it says that they were charged with aggravated child abuse, aggravated manslaughter, child abuse, and 2 counts of child neglect. Because a kid weighed only 17 pounds when he died. Jesus.
Oh, so
Well, they're missing something. There's no possession of a controlled substance in there.
You mean they were sober Florida people?
I don't believe that.
That doesn't make any
That's
sense.
too impossible. That
makes no sense at all.
That's so unbelievable. Yeah.
Yeah,
The
that's
question
0
is,
cents right there.
so wait, is crystal meth legal? Is crystal meth vegan?
It's medicinal.
But
Yeah.
does it come from plants?
Floridan's
It comes from a plant
And which plant would that be?
The methamphetamine plant.
Oh God.
This is my garden. Here's where I grow methamphetamine.
Come to Florida. This is where. Yeah, this is my meth garden. Yes, I water meth plants daily, 3 times a day.
Man, Florida sounds like a fun place.
Don't knock it till you try it, but don't really try it either.
I'll try not to.
Just knock it. Just knock Florida.
Yeah, just knock it.
Florida. Knock Florida's ass out.
It's like a butthole anyway.
But
Two
Florida's
buttholes.
gonna knock you out.
Yeah, 2 buttholes, man. The 2 butthole state of America. You can't have America without 2 buttholes.
Yeah, just be careful of knocking on 2 buttholes at once.
We're so backwards, only gay people get shot here, so.
Well, because everyone else is busy doing meth, right?
Well, no, I mean, yeah, that's pretty much true.
They're either mething or driving their trucks, right?
Or they're shooting gay people. That's only it. That's all they do. There's nothing else.
Yeah, speaking of trucks, wasn't there a truck that crashed into an airport or something recently?
Yep. Yeah, that happened. It was good for things. See, the most important thing is we just started to do this new service at airports, kind of like a drive-through baggage claim. So you know how annoying it is when you're picking up family members and you have to wait for them to leave the gate and all that. Well, wouldn't it just be easier if we can just meet them at baggage claim? That's like the easiest job ever. So.
Did you say meet them or beat them?
Well, yeah, beat them. Well, you can't meet them without beating them. That's the thing. So.
Meet and beat at Florida.
Meet and beat.
Yeah, meet beats. It's not Florida without a meet and beat. it's very popular in schools too. But anyway, yeah. So it's just no, but yes, it's just easier if everyone would meet and beat at the baggage claim instead of just waiting for them at the gate. Because there's TSA there and you can't have any weapons. So.
Yeah, you can't beat at the gate.
Yeah, you can't have your meth there. TSA is like watching you, and you can't have your weapons. It's no fun. There's no fun in it. So baggage claim it is. It's perfect.
Oh man! So you just get the middle, man.
Yeah.
Shit, if I ever move back to the States, I guess I'm gonna have to go straight to Florida, man. Sounds like
That's a terrible idea.
A terrible
this
idea.
Is
or
a monopoly. Florida is jail. Go straight to jail.
It's like it doesn't matter what you roll. As soon as you roll it, it says go to jail.
I can just imagine that fucking Monopoly board with like 30 jail cards on it.
Yeah, and then you just go to jail. That's it.
Great.
There's no freedom. You go to jail.
When's the last time you went to jail, man?
Was that a few years ago?
What was yesterday?
A second?
Yeah. Yeah.
I thought like yesterday was the 3rd.
Was it?
Well,
I don't know,
not
man.
in Florida.
I'm not operating by American time, so.
Well, Florida operates on their own time. It's Florida time, so it's like
Florida
a day
time.
behind everything. It's a magical place where there's meth that grows on trees, and you beat your
You beat. You meet and beat. You gotta meet and beat. You only do that at baggage claim. It's the important part.
Well, I was gonna say, would that be considered your family as baggage then because you're claiming them so that you can beat them? That's what I wanted to say.
Well, normally I have carry-on, so like I don't really meet them at baggage claim. I just I mean beat them in the car.
Yeah, I feel.
Oh yeah.
I feel like okay. Here's my theory. I think the reason why you see like these fucking like dudes that are high as shit on bath salts stabbing and eating people on buses. I think the reason is because buses are the only way that Florida men can cross state lines. And the reason is because if you're a Florida man and you try to take a plane, then they will not let you get on the plane because you have too much baggage.
Well, they say that to me even though I don't carry anything on the plane.
Yeah, that was my point. That's the punchline.
Yeah, it's hard. It's no joke there. It's hard.
All right, so this new article.
Yeah, so right.
Florida man stories.
The top
Let's
Florida
go.
man stories of PC8. So, January. We started the year off with a bang when a 30-year-old Florida man overheard threatening to kill someone with kindness was arrested after he allegedly cut a man with a machete that had the word kindness on it.
Wow. Be quite literal, huh?
He killed them
Actually,
with kindness.
It actually happened in like November or October. So.
Of last
I don't know why
year?
it says
Or
Jan-
of 2018?
Yeah, PC7.
Yeah, I think that was I think it was a news story from PC7 that got reported in the year PC8.
Well, you got to remember that Florida time works differently than American
Okay, so
time.
when was the premiere of Walking Dead when they had what's his name? The one that has the
guy who
slugger
died?
called Lucille.
Fuck if I remember.
But basically, that was the same time that happened.
Oh, okay. So this is how Florida men record time based on Walking Dead episodes.
Oh man.
Exactly.
How deep into the zombie apocalypse are we? Oh, it must be a Wednesday.
Oh, hump day. Okay.
Yeah, that's your hump day. A hump day for a beaten beat.
Yeah.
my favorite time.
The day after you beat your wife, that's a hump day.
I beat my wife at the baggage claim the other day.
Oh, it must be a Thursday. Great.
All right, so next month.
Well, I'm not even done with January. So the end of January, some guy he stole drugs off of someone, but he actually stole laxatives, which I think is pretty useful because Florida men are full of shit.
Well, they have the two bowls. Yeah.
Right, you know, you need laxatives to force the shit out of one hole or the other. Otherwise, you're gonna have a bad time. Meanwhile, in February, when Florida man takes off his clothes in a public space, trouble always ensues. Well, this is like, what day of the week do you? What day of the week do you not have Florida man taking off his clothes in a public space?
Well, would that be Well, they obviously don't believe in God, so it's not Sunday.
Yeah, there's no God in Florida. He has forsaken them.
I mean,
Maybe that's one of the reasons why like Florida people can't leave Florida is because God is like separated them like from like there's a holy veil that keeps them in Florida, like a holy wall.
If there is a God,
And
I'm gonna say if there is a God, he definitely is trying his damnedest to keep everyone from leaving Florida so that the rest of the world may not be polluted with their sins.
yeah, there's like a sign that only Florida men can see, and it says, "Remember, you're here forever."
Yeah.
Everywhere.
Yeah. Well, I don't
So
know.
continue?
Yeah, it's right. Okay. What else happened in February? Oh yeah. So this guy walked into a Walgreens store and then took off his clothes. And another Florida man, he stole tens of thousands of dollars worth of collectible coins, and then he ran them through a change machine and got a few dollars out of it.
Wow, he got somebody's like collectible coin set and ran it through a coin star.
Yeah.
He must have really wanted his meth money.
he needed his meth treated.
I mean, he would have gone to the pawn shop, but the pawn shop guy was too fucking high that day.
He didn't trust the pawn man.
Pawn Stars.
I mean, I guess it really sucks when your economy is entirely post-apocalyptic, right?
Yeah, I mean, look at Australia.
Right. And meanwhile, in March, what happened in March? Oh, a Florida woman got naked and she ran across a busy section of Interstate 95. So I'm gonna take
Where's
a shot.
I-95? Kipz,
gonna-
where's I-95?
Kipz, you alive?
It's like the east of 75.
I have
It's
no
like by it's like Jacksonville and Jacksonville and it's just Jacksonville.
Just Jacksonville. Jacksonville is like, it's one of those like methy places, right? It's not one of the nice places like Orlando, right?
It's where it's the Florida Georgia line. You know, the actual band.
Oh, okay. Yes, that's where a lot
Georgia's
of...
another place that we gotta say fuck Georgia. You know.
Fuck Georgia, man.
Yeah, fuck Georgia.
It's just full of like rich white
AIDS.
people, poor black people, and a bunch of meth heads.
Yeah, I already said AIDS.
Well, we can't say AIDS for everything, man.
Why not?
That's it for everything in Florida, isn't it? Besides meth.
AIDS. Well, no, there's no AIDS in Florida. Just Cubans.
So God's
Yeah, and a
grace
surprise
gave
twist.
you immunity against. So God's grace gave you immunity towards AIDS, but you became a Florida man.
Exactly. You can't.
Min-maxing.
AIDS cannot survive off of all that AIDS or meth.
I was gonna say, yeah, like maybe maybe all the HIV just dies as soon as it hits the methylated blood.
Yeah, and maybe that's why they evolved the two buttholes to confuse the AIDS.
Exactly. See, now you're thinking like a Florida man.
So I'm understanding Floridian biology now.
Exactly.
Someone
See, I
probably
knew
has a
you had
doctor
it
in
in
this
you.
shit.
I'm always an
Unfortunately,
expert on Florida now. Wow.
you gotta be careful, man, because it's
Florida
not a
expert.
title that people want.
Yeah, you stare into the Florida abyss, and the Florida abyss stares back. I know. I'm walking on a fine line here.
If you stare too deeply into the eye of Florida, it farts back at you.
I hate pink
It
eye.
farts back at you asshole.
I hate pink eye. Hurricane season is just pink eye.
Right. A guy didn't want to show up for his shift at Hardee's, so he called 911 and reported that he'd been robbed. So
At Hardee's.
yeah. The good news was he didn't have to go to work that day. The bad news was he ended up behind bars.
No, that
sounds like the average ape of Florida, man.
actually sounds like better news. I don't know how that's bad news.
Could have ended worse. Yeah, that was actually a good day for him.
So meanwhile in April, a Florida man was arrested at an Olive Garden because he caused a drunken disturbance and shoveled spaghetti into his mouth with his hands.
That sounds normal.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess they were pretty chillin'. I guess there's like a cycle of when Florida man strikes, and I guess he goes dormant in springtime. It's when in summer and winter come out, then he goes in full force.
And meanwhile in Orlando, a man in an Easter Bunny costume was filmed in a fight outside a bar.
Well, it says he was coming to the defense of a woman, so I guess, he was being like a white knight.
White knight in a bunny suit, yeah.
Just forgot to wear his pussy hat.
Right.
That's the important part.
So May was classic.
Okay.
A woman was involved in a traffic stop, and she pulled out a foot-long alligator from her yoga pants.
Oh God.
She also had 41 turtles in the car.
Obviously, she loved reptiles.
She's one of those people that has that second butthole.
Right. Let's see. A guy fled a traffic stop, and then he called 911 to do a victory dance.
He was dabbing as he was reporting himself. Wow.
He was arrested on multiple charges after authorities said he asked the 911 operator, "What do we pay you guys for?"
Yeah, if he wasn't dabbing when he got arrested, then I don't have any faith in Florida man anymore.
Right. And one more for May. A Florida man was caught on camera standing through his Cadillac sunroof while driving down a highway. He told troopers he would rather go to jail than go back home to his wife. His request was granted.
Well, it's better than the meet and beat.
That's
Those
true.
are awful.
Maybe it was her turn.
Gotta hate those meat and beats. Oh man, so bad.
Yeah, the meat and beats after the hump day. Those are the worst.
Absolute god.
In June, a 48-year-old man was arrested for hiding meth in a container of hot, fresh potato wedges during a traffic stop. Another man broke into a Wendy's to stop and grill a burger.
Hold up. Potato wedges. Oh,
Yeah.
Don't they call those JoJo's? So he got meth in his JoJo's and he tried to hide it in there. So
Jesus
meth and
Christ.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
That's what I call a bizarre adventure. Wasn't that
That's
the plot
part
of
6.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's part 6, right? Where JoJo's goes to Florida and has a bizarre adventure.
Yeah, Jolene.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, in July, Florida
July.
women a Florida woman was denied a slice of pizza, so she attacked another woman with a knife.
Yeah, that's tradition.
Oh, the pizza knife, right? Or what do you guys call that?
Yep. No, yeah, that's tradition. Pizza knife. You can't get a piece of pizza, you pull out a knife.
If you don't get a slice of your pizza, you gotta get sliced. It's simple as that.
Exactly.
So
It's a
like
slice for slice.
So before she attacked the woman, did she like drop her did she have to drop her tagline? Like, did she say, "Now it's time to cut the cheese"?
No. What you have to do is, it's kind of like an urban legend. You have to show your double butthole, or a knife gets pulled out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I'm so glad we have you here to explain this to us.
it's very dangerous.
Okay. Meanwhile, calm down, Brip. Meanwhile, in August, the month began with a man who was caught on camera taking his golf cart on a wild ride through Walmart near Tampa, terrorizing shoppers and ignoring deputies' orders to stop before crashing into a cash register. That same day, a man was stopped riding his bike nude during rush hour traffic in Wilton Manors.
So they were like at the baggage claims, but at Walmart.
Right.
Meat and beats. Always happening.
You know, I don't know.
Meat and beats or slice for slice.
This was a meat and beat. You only involve your truck in a meat and beat.
I gotta say, I don't know why anyone in Florida is allowed to have anything with wheels. I think wheels should be illegal in the whole state.
Well, they don't even have insurance, so.
Yeah. Yo, this is a big ass sandwich. Oh, here's a Florida man who was trying to be nice. I mean, he wasn't doing anything wrong, so I guess it just
He didn't
wasn't
do
a.
nothing? Wow.
It wasn't a hump day,
Right.
Brip.
He
It was a
definitely
Sunday.
did
It was his
something.
day off. So this man, he opened his front door to head to work. This is impressive. A Florida man with a
He
job,
was actually going to go to work? Wow.
right? This man opened his
He's actually
front door to
gonna
go to work,
on time.
and he was
And
bitten.
what happened?
He was bitten by a raccoon-like creature called a kinkajou. I feel like this
Oh,
is probably.
fuck.
I feel like this is a gamer word. Is kinkajou a gamer word?
It's PC.
Nice. Now we're gonna get demonetized for saying kinkajou.
It happens.
I think that's a Pokemon, right?
It probably is. There's so many of them.
We're gonna get a cease and desist.
Well, if there's one way to go down in flames, it's with Florida, so I'm okay with it.
And this last story for August is pretty nuts. A 74-year-old man was arrested after police said he was involved in an attempted castration at a home that went terribly wrong. I don't know, how does an attempted castration go right? The man was charged with practicing medicine without a license.
It's slice for slice. It's a part of the Florida bad way. It's either slice for slice or meat.
He forgot his pizza slice. It would have gone right if he had his pizza slice.
Right. Well, I'm gonna say this is an example of Florida not being politically correct, because see, if it were a progressive state like California, and they saw you attempting to chop off your balls, they would understand that it's a cultural thing.
They would clap.
Right.
They would be wearing their pussy hats.
They would put on their pussy hats, they would eat their Impossible Whoppers, and they would clap. Of course.
Yeah.
Florida's just behind the times.
No, we have math trees. It's just hard.
No, it's not behind the times. You have to remember they work on Florida time.
Right,
It's a
right,
parallel
right.
time.
Right. It's like the 3 different timelines in The Witcher.
Exactly. Just have to let it happen.
Well, if you let Florida happen, then all this happens.
Okay, so I'm just gonna give you the second half of this story and let you guys guess what it's talking about. The man's wife said, I said there was no way he could. He said he could. So he opened the double doors and had it in. I was amazed that it could fit. He had it in with no problems. What do you think this story is about?
The two buttholes?
Stand your ground.
Stand your ground, two buttholes. This one...
Stand your butthole.
Protect your bunghole. This story is about a man who protected his smart car from Hurricane Dorian by parking it in the kitchen.
Oh.
Wow. How?
They opened the house's two buttholes and they just parked it right in the kitchen. He fit it in. His wife said, "You're not going to fit it in." The man said, "Oh, I'm fitting it in, baby," and he fit it in.
It's a meet and beat. I should have thought about that.
Yeah, it's obviously a meet and beat.
All right, yeah. So after he parked his car, he beat the shit out of her. But that's another situation.
Yeah, it's a meet and beat.
Yeah, I don't know why she disbelieved him. Like, is there a reason to disbelieve your Florida husband cannot park a car in a kitchen? I mean, usually he just uses the window, right?
Some people don't believe in the meet and beat, you know?
Or the Slice4Slice.
Or the Slice4Slice.
She must be like one of those Georgia transplants.
She must have been an immigrant. Because that happens all the
She
time.
must have not had enough meth.
She wasn't growing enough trees.
She needs more meth trees.
Exactly.
Meanwhile, in October, alligators and Florida man were back together in the news. Two men filmed themselves letting a gator bite them on the arm and pouring beer in its mouth. Sounds like a party.
Oh.
Sounds about right.
Well, his arm got sliced, so that's Slice4Slice.
That's a Slice4Slice, yeah. Well, I think in this case it was a bite for a beer, which coincidentally is also an Australian tradition.
See, what I think happened was they were trying to do Slice4Slice, but they realized that they didn't have a slice of pizza, so they had the next best thing.
Which was a bite
An
for
alligator or beer.
I can see that.
Alligator and beer.
Beer-ligator.
And at the end of October, a man was charged after he performed... Oh, Jesus. He performed sex acts on a stuffed Olaf doll in a Target store. See, this is why people kill people at the Frozen 2 premiere.
Oh, yeah. Would this count as a meet and beat? Oh, God.
I think this is what you call a snow job.
Snow job over there means Coke instead of meth.
Do they have Coke in Florida? Kipz? Do they do Coke in Florida?
Have you never seen Scarface?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes,
yeah. Well, does that count? Because they're not like Floridans. They're more like fresh into Florida. Yeah, I guess. Yeah. Scarface is the Florida Man classic. Actually, to be honest, I have not seen Scarface.
Oh, that's okay.
Mud, did you just do a line of cocaine?
I think he did. If you, I think if you see like any of the memes of Scarface, just imagine that for like 2 hours, and you have the movie.
All right, yeah, that sounds all right. I might watch that today. Meanwhile, in November, Florida Man continued to provide classic stories in November, whether he was caught on camera eating tacos while burgling a Taco Bell, or leaving behind his cell phone while stealing condoms from Walmart.
Well, he had to he had to ready up for a meet and beat then.
Yeah, this is a very complicated meet and beat.
He didn't have time to prepare, so he just had to go and smash and grab.
Smash and grab. That's a classic.
And they do a smash and grab.
And on top of that, another guy was arrested for beating the shit out of a man who asked him to stop masturbating in a Miami parking lot. So this is not a meet and beat.
You see, this is the meet and beat.
This is not a meet and beat. This is not a meet and beat, you guys. You need to understand. This is a beat and beat.
Well, no, he had to meet him first.
No. He beat and then he beat.
It's a meet and meet, then a beat and beat.
Oh, I got it. Yeah, it was. He beat his meat and then he did a meet and beat
squared.
Yeah, it was right. It was a meat squared beat squared. Yeah, so it's like MB eat to the fourth power.
Yeah, that's some Albert Einstein shit right there, man.
Quick maths.
Florida maps.
And finally, in
Skittles.
December, we had a Florida man Christmas tale. This year's tale involved a man who was arrested for giving out marijuana for the holiday. When police asked why he was dishing out the weed, he allegedly said, because it was Christmas. Oh, what a heartwarming story.
This actually reminds me of this one time I was actually at this this place called the Banana Factory.
Were you, Kipz, were you sucking dicks? Be real with us. We're not gonna judge you, man. Just be real with us.
No. This is
Slice4Slice?
this is just your standard Florida man comedy bar club karaoke gay strip club. So
Oh, all right.
Don't worry.
So it was a meet and beat.
Yeah. No.
It was just a meet your beat.
I was just there chilling, minding my own business, and then all
your
of a
meat.
sudden, man,
You're messing your own business.
Yeah, I was messing my own business, and this one dude came up to me. He's like, "Hey, man, have this," and he pulled out like a nugget from his like pocket, like his shirt pocket, like right in front of me. It's like, "Here you go." I'm like, thanks." He's like, "Yeah, man, it's my birthday." I'm like, "Wow, Florida man has really great birthdays. He gives away all his drugs."
That's
So-
pretty sweet.
Yeah, and then he proceeded to stab me because it was a Slice4Slice.
Oh, all right.
So.
Happy New Year, Florida.
Happy New Year.
It was awful.
Oh
Did
shit,
at
man.
least leave a good like scar. You
No,
know,
I
like,
left him a good
look at-
Google review though.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's at
Oh,
least a
God.
4-star Yelp review. The Slice4Slice was alright, but there was no meet and beat.
Good God.
I'm gonna look this place up, the Banana Factory. I want to see what the Google reviews are.
Oh God. What city so that he could like look it up, Kip?
Just type in Florida, it'll be there.
Oh, here we go.
Just
I
type
think I
in
found
Florida.
it.
There's what?
Bradenton. All right, yeah, it's got some pretty good reviews. Let's check out the reviews.
Hope has a Slice4Slice.
Gotta check the lowest rating ones.
Right, I gotta see what these guys are saying. I feel like these are just bot reviews. Surprisingly boring reviews. Oh, here we go. 1 star. They ran out of pasta on a Tuesday night
By 7 o'clock.
by 7 o'clock.
Well, don't read the one that's by Dorothy Stevens. It's like long, it's all capitalized.
Dorothy
I'll see if
Stevens.
I can find it. I'm looking.
Steve? A Florida Steve? Oh my God.
I would have asked to speak to the mod. Not a manager, but the mod.
Well, this place looks pretty nice other than the Slice4Slice. Here we go. Unsure why the reasoning was, but I was frozen out from every one of the bars at this place tonight. The female bartenders definitely did not want to wait on me. Very evident. I waited exactly 30 minutes at every single bar at this establishment to be waited on by one of the female bartenders. I was made to wait at every single Solidarity bar that was serving drinks. I even said to Obe of the barmaids, "So should I go to the bar across the room because you are not going to wait on me?" And both barmaids said, "Yes, go to another bar." Rude and snarky. If I wasn't in a good mood, I would have asked to speak to the mod. I just thought it became comical the way these rude and indigenous women were treating me. I am a woman, not depending on anyone else to buy my drinks, and they froze me out. Be prepared to tangle with this group, especially if you are not a regular. Unbelievable. Hopefully, you can take their harassment. Good luck. ...
Why? Obviously, they weren't a Floridian native because at that point, it would have been a Slice4Slice.
Well, but they were out of pizza.
Well, I guess it's time for a meet and beat. Can you imagine? You want a drink from the bartender, and then you just beat them because you want them to make you a drink.
Here's a good one. It
For
says
free?
this is a 3-star. It says don't order water, you'll get ignored. It's a bar.
Who the fuck orders water in Florida? Go outside, bitch.
You literally buy water, just drink that.
Here we go. 5 stars. Got drunk.
Well, that's simple. Some people are simple like that. Yeah, they get drunk, they get ready for their meat and beat or slice for slice, and then they go home.
Sounds
They
good
go
to
home
me.
for their meat and beat or slice for slice.
Then we have this person here, Ghost Chimsevsky, who may or may not be an Israeli mafioso, with a picture of a baby with huge sunglasses. And his review is 3 stars, and it says,
And that's it.
yeah. He may or may not be a zombie.
Here we go. I found the perfect review. This place is bananas. Bananas. Cheap drinks, friendly bartenders, a good spot to stop while on Tamiami Meth Alley.
Kipz, you gotta leave a
So-
review. You gotta say the meat and beat was excellent, but the slice for slice was a little bit lacking.
Yeah, I could say that, but they will also yell at me, and that's not a good thing.
Oh, they know you?
They will find you. They will find you and
Just
track you down and ask you why are you telling them the non-Floridians our language of meat and beat and slice for slice.
well, there's
Yeah.
a 5-star review from Mr. Michael Kuntz.
My
Good.
cunt.
Mike Kuntz.
So instead of 2 buttholes, he's got 2 cunts.
That is 2 buttholes.
Maybe he's got 4 holes.
Oh yeah.
Well, I think the Banana Factory, they probably host a legend that they call this guy the golf course, and he's their hottest performers. You know why they call him the golf course?
He has 18 buttholes.
He has 18 holes.
Wow. Just wow. A miracle of Floridian genetics.
Oh, this is good. I like this review here. 1-star review. Terrible service. Good live music. We'll never go back.
You can't forget one of these greatest bars that we have here in Florida called Dick's Last Resort. It's good for meat and beats.
I was gonna say,
Oh really?
Dick's Last Resort sounds like every Florida woman.
Should be your first resort if you're bored, because you can't get anything else. It's not the last; it's your first.
This is all we have, man.
The meth trees are pretty
Suck
strong.
it up and enjoy.
Pretty strong meth trees here.
Cut my life into pieces.
This is Dick's Last Resort.
Methamphetamine, meat and beats, slice for a slice. That's the life.
Living the dream.
That's good old Florida.
Having a gay old Florida time.
Best.
Is it legal to be gay in Florida?
Don't they get shot?
Yeah, you could be gay in Florida. You just can't be gay at a club.
Oh, right. That.
Hmm.
Oh
Yeah.
man, I don't want to joke about that one. That's I think that one's outside
Well,
my range.
that's the grim reality of Florida.
Yeah.
We don't want to go.
Yeah, that one's way out of my range. I can't even joke about it.
Yeah, even I won't touch that. And I
I
could
hope-
touch basically everything else but that.
Why
Right.
would you want to touch it? That's weird.
I know.
I
don't
would
want
rather
to.
never touch Florida.
Go away. No.
I will say there is one thing about Florida that interests me, and I'd like to do a few dives out there. Here it's
What?
dives like scuba dives.
Why? There's red tide.
Like I hear the Everglades. I think it's the Everglades are like pretty nice for diving.
That's
If
how
you
you
want
get.
to get gatored.
Yeah, that's how you get flesh-eating bacteria.
Okay, so I don't want to go diving in Florida.
Yeah, you don't even want
Unless you want to beat the bacteria.
to. You don't. For slice.
That's
You definitely.
I think that one's called a dive and die.
You definitely don't want to get licked by a dog. Those are terrible. Don't ever do that.
Is that
Oh yeah,
innuendo?
Florida dogs are their own breed.
Yeah, they carry flesh-eating bacteria themselves.
So they're like your version of Komodo dragons.
Man, yeah, your little state sounds like a great time, bro.
The two buttholes.
Yeah. I don't know. I think we should. I think if we ever do like a, what do you call it, a Cobb Con? I think we should definitely host it in Florida.
I
If
don't
you,
want to slice for slice at CobCon.
No, there won't be. I don't know if there will be a slice for slice, but there definitely will be a meet and beat. So it's like we'll have Vic Mangina there because he goes to every convention, and we'll have a meet and beat
Is
session.
he like being sued right now or something?
He's always
Like,
being sued. He's
got the
like,
lawsuit. Yeah, he's always at conventions and he's always in courtrooms. It's like he doesn't have a life besides those two places. He just appears everywhere there.
Where is Vic Mangina from? Don't tell me he's a Florida man.
I think he's from California.
No, he's a Pennsylvania man.
Ooh. Fuck Pennsylvania.
Fuck Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania is like the Florida of the Northeast. But yeah, man. I think like Vic Mangina, like he walks into his office on a Tuesday and he's like, hey Terry, how's it going? Like, hey Vic, fuck you. It's like, oh yeah, nice to see you too. So what sexual harassment letters did I get in this time? And he's got like he gets like a subpoena from a 17-year-old girl. He's got a couple from like a 54-year-old man. He just kind of racks them up.
And that's before Hump Day.
No, Hump Day is when he goes out and racks up the subpoenas. He always goes to conventions on Hump Day.
That's correct.
I'll be honest, I never actually saw Full Metal Alchemist. Or no, I think I did see Full Metal Alchemist like one time. Let's talk a little bit.
I remember playing a little bit of like I remember playing one of the PS2 games, but that's it.
Yeah, apparently. So I thought this was years ago, but in February, PC 8, less than a year ago, Funimation cut ties with Vic Mangina after he was hit with several sexual harassment allegations. See, I thought this was in like, I thought it was like 2014 or something when he got hit with. PC2? Yeah, I don't know. I feel like he's been getting hit with sexual harassment allegations like pretty much on the weekly, but maybe none of them stuck
considering
until...
considering his name, it just comes with the territory, I think.
Yeah, no, for sure. All right, team. Do we have anything else we want to cover before we wrap this one up?
Not really. We've covered basically all that goes into the Floridian mindset. Slice for slice and meet and beat.
Oh, you barely even scratched.
And meth. Oh man, we've only touched the tip of the iceberg.
We barely fucked the top of the crystal methberg.
Yep. You're missing a lot of things on top of that amphetamine train.
Don't worry, Mud. We're definitely gonna hit up a bunch of Florida topics later. We would do it weekly, but that would distract from our regularly scheduled fuck California moment. So.
Well, we have to systematically go through every state and say fuck them somehow.
Right, yeah, we need to go through the list. So, next week, fuck Wyoming, I guess.
Yeah, fuck Wyoming.
Fuck Wyoming.
Yeah, fuck Wyoming.
It's literally a load of horse shit. That'll be like a 10-minute. That'll be a 10-minute.
It's not even Wyoming anymore. It's why are you horse shit?
Wyoming, more like why are you here? Am I right?
Aren't there like more cows than people in Wyoming?
There's more cows than people in Florida, I think.
Well, would you consider the people in Florida people?
No, I would not. I would consider them cows.
Yeah.
So there's more cows than cows in Florida.
That's a lot of
cows.
Well, people in Florida are just cows with two buttholes.
Right.
Yeah. Don't cows have like 4 stomachs? Well, it's like maybe it's one of the evolutions of the Florida man is like 4 stomachs and 2 buttholes.
That's an average of 2 stomachs per butthole.
Yes, you need 2 stomachs.
That's a lot.
You need 2 stomachs for all the meth.
Right,
That's
right.
some work.
There's one. And you got 1 meth stomach, 1 beer stomach, and 2 stomachs for sucking dick. Such is the Florida diet.
And the appendix for meth, the methpendix.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure on average Floridans have 50% more organs.
That's just due to meth.
Mathematics.
Mathematics. All right, guys, this has been real. I think we're gonna have to wrap up our Florida chapter for this week.
There was too much Florida.
Yeah. All right, so everyone have a great new year. Try to keep your asshole closed during PC9 and stay
Make
on
sure
the flip
both of them are
side.
closed.
Yeah, keep both closed.